Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us this morning. It's exactly 11 a.m. here in Nairobi, slightly overcast morning, but we can see some sun peeping through the clouds, and so we look forward to a good day. Introductions, my name is Terry Wafula. I am the country and regional manager for Hudaco, Kenya. And my co-host today is Elmo, who is our product manager for Ubiquiti, which is going to be our focus for discussion today. And he sits at Miro, which is a sister company in Hudaco, Kenya in South Africa. Elmo, thank you so much for making time to be with us this morning. We look forward to a vibrant discussion with you. Just to start us off, I can see Annie Abosu, Gaston, Muyodi, Norbert, Alinda, thank you so much for taking your time. We will just kick off as we expect other participants to join our session today. So just from a brief introduction perspective, but before I go there, some house cleaning matters. We welcome you to use the chat box. We've got the chat sign on your far right of your screen. Please feel free to use that to communicate with us, share with us your ideas, or even any questions that you might have. We will respond to questions towards the end of the session. We also have a question and answer tab that's on your bottom, right of your screen. Please use that to communicate to us as well. Just to confirm that everyone can hear me, I will send you all a message on the chat box. Please confirm receipt.
Good morning. Yes, Terry, thank you very much for that introduction. I can definitely hear you from my side.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Elmo. Always a pleasure to have you on these sessions. Thank you, Norbert, Gaston, Muyodi, Ivan. Thank you. So we'll just, very quickly start off with a brief introduction to Hudaco, Kenya. I will share my screen with you now just to confirm that you can see it. Please just let me know if you can see my screen. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Right. So just a brief introduction about Hudaco Kenya. So Hudaco Kenya is part of the Hudaco Industries group of companies, and we are a leading value distributor of quality, innovative, integrated security, IP-enabled voice and video and telecommunication solutions to East and Sub-Saharan Africa. We believe that IP technology is the future for communication, and really it should be easily accessible for everyone. Our team of IP converged professionals are dedicated to taking your business to the next level. We believe we need to empower you in order to be able to connect communities. From an industry knowledge perspective, we boast of over 17 years of industry knowledge, and that's really across the whole of Africa. As I mentioned to you, we do have a sister company and a number of sister companies actually, covering the whole of Africa. We've got our partner today, Miro, being represented by Elmo in these sessions. Our footprint is across Eastern, Central, and Sub-Saharan Africa, and we are really, really keen and really big on online training, and that's the reason why we bring to you these webinar sessions, just to allow you to engage with us, and as we share industry, knowledge and information around the products. In addition to that, our approach to service delivery to you is from a holistic perspective, where we walk the journey with you, right from the scoping of the solution to the delivering of the solution, both from a product and service perspective, to really the support element of it, which we believe is really the most important element of ICT. We would like you to continuously engage with us either through the mailers that we receive. I will be sharing with you our email address towards the end of this session, just so that you can have direct access to us. We have also set up a YouTube channel where we do post all our webinar sessions, allowing you to be able to go back to these sessions at your own time. Please follow us on our social media handles. That's at Hudaco Kenya at LinkedIn, and of course the YouTube channel, which I will be sharing with you as we proceed with our webinar sessions today. So why really would you choose Hudaco Kenya? We partner with top international manufacturers to source solutions that meet the specific needs of our customers, and these solutions are backed by a superior technical support and training, such as the session we are having today. We believe that your success is our success, and to this end, we seek to build long-term business relationships with you based on mutual trust and that are driven by offering exceptional customer service. So, as I mentioned before, our approach really is to build tailor-made solutions for you, not only just pushing boxes, but really designing solutions that meet your requirements. And our team of experts will help you create solutions that meet your needs, right from the planning of the initial project to choosing the perfect products for your solution range, and of course, offering support and training to continuously empower you and your teams. We have partnered with top brands or top vendors that are world renowned, such as, right from a Wi-Fi perspective, we are very, very fond of Ubiquiti, who's our point of focus for discussion today. We've got Cambium, we've got Microtik, we've got Grandstream that offers us both the Wi-Fi solutions as well as unified and VoIP communication solutions. From a broadband perspective, we've got Ubiquiti as well as Cambium. From a networking perspective, again, Ubiquiti, Microtik, and Cambium. The latest LTE technologies are brought to us by BDCom and Teltonica, as well as, focus around IoT, Internet of Things, which we feel is the next big thing as far as ICT is concerned. Also looking at from an infrastructure perspective, some of the solutions or vendors that I've already mentioned to you. From a security perspective, we have partnered with organizations such as Suprema, Tyco, Uniview, and Access, just to be able to bring to you video technology as well as video management systems. So that's just really an array of, and gives you an idea of how we are positioned in the market and what our focus is. I will reiterate again, for us, our two key driving factors are training. We believe we need to empower you to be able to deliver the right solutions to your customers, as well as to provide you with the technical support, right from, the planning phase, as well as, after sales and support. We are very keen in engaging with top of breed technologies, and as such, we also engage directly with the communication authorities of all the countries that we operate in to ensure that this equipment is actually type approved. Just giving you comfort that indeed you are engaging with an organization or a distributor that is bringing top of breed solutions. We understand that COVID-19 has really thrown a curveball into our business operations and environment, really from a finance perspective. And to this end, because we understand the environment in which we operate in, we have engaged with a number of organizations to be able to facilitate for credit to you, to allow you to be able to service your customers and then pay for equipment, anything from between 7 to 30 days. So please feel free to engage with our teams directly, especially when you have any requirements. We do understand the landscape that we're in, and we're here to really support you and support your business. So that's really who we are in a nutshell. That's how we are positioned. And at this point, I'd just like to hand over the session to my co-host Elmo, who will be taking us through the 10 reasons why you should select the Ubiquiti airMax solution. So over to you, Elmo, and thank you very much, everyone, for being with us.
Right, good morning, everybody. We are an hour behind, but I would like to brag. We've got full sunshine in sunny South Africa, as they say. As Terry mentioned, my name is Elmo, and as part of my portfolio within the product management platform at Miro is being the product manager for Ubiquiti. So today is really just an interactive session, and I really want to encourage everybody to ask questions in the text box, or the chat box rather, and it's all just to create excitement about what airMax actually is, where it fits into the network topology of things, and I just want to, like I said, create some excitement of one or two of these amazing features, and some of them being patented technologies. I also want to talk briefly with return of investments, but before I get ahead of myself, let's start with the actual presentation. While I share my screen and quickly get ready, I just also wanted to add that after this, Terry and I do sit every now and then with new topics, and I think a deep dive session with regards to airMax applications is definitely something that we will have a talk about, so that we can see exactly how to deploy these units, and then also, yeah, just how they can benefit. Terry, okay, so I'm off my screen. If you can just perhaps confirm whether you can see my screen.
Can see it very clearly. Elmo, please proceed.
Thank you, Terry. Right, everybody, like I said, Ubiquiti has come a very long way from 2005. I don't know, one or two of you might have heard the one or two presentations previously on where they started. But this brand has really grown to a phenomenal space within the global market, and they do claim to be the standard for connectivity. They obviously have an array of products that will suit anything from home Wi-Fi all the way through to enterprise wireless solutions. But today we're going to focus on airMax, which is the product for point-to-multipoint applications, outdoor wireless predominantly. They do, however, have a foot in the door with point-to-point applications as well. But today we're going to just have a bit of a discussion with regards to some of these reasons and why they are perfect for a point-to-multipoint application. Right. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about why airMax, the benefits thereof, the Rocket PRISM radio. I want to introduce you to the PRISM radio and all of its features, the airPRISM technology, GPS synchronization, TDMA protocol, airMax AC, UNMS, and then I want to talk about why and how you can invest with airMax. As I said before, Ubiquiti is the market leader in connectivity. On the left-hand side, you can see that there are a couple of units, and they range anything from base stations all the way through to customer premise equipment, or your CPEs or client devices. But they do have a footprint in point-to-point applications as well. We will briefly touch on that as we go along. But why airMax? Let's start there. So airMax, is Ubiquiti's answer to, like I said, affordable point-to-multipoint applications and backhaul solutions, which is then your point-to-point. And today we will predominantly look at starting your own WISP, how you can implement some of these units that will have a quicker turnaround on your investment, and also understanding the performance that is required on these applications. So point-to-multipoint performance, for instance, depends on both sides of the link. So if the goal is long distances, it is imperative to choose the right base station, and then of course the right CPEs for each case. So Ubiquiti products offer improved latency, noise immunity, scalability, and supports the high data rates and dense modulation used for airMax AC technology. So airMax AC technology is something that we will discuss, just so that you understand how it fits in. But these features will enhance your link. And like I've mentioned previously, I am going to schedule a deep dive session so that we can actually work on the centralized management platform and how you can deploy these units literally sitting behind your computer or even an app on your phone. Right, so speaking of technology, airPRISM. I'm always a front runner with Ubiquiti airPRISM. It is actually a patented revolutionary filtering technology that exclusively belongs to Ubiquiti. airPRISM provides better radio selectivity in unlicensed wireless bands. So when we say unlicensed, we're talking about the 5 gigahertz channels. But what benefit does it carry for the installer or a WISP? It basically means that airPRISM isolates the signal from the operating channel and then rejects interference from other radios to improve wireless performance in high density areas. So if you have a channel and you're pushing through a signal, obviously you want that to come through for best performance on the other side. So for instance, your client will reap the benefits and you will also reap benefits with higher throughput, lower latency. It's just a revolutionary technology that is embedded into the rocket. And of course, we are going to look at 1 or 2 products a little bit later. But as soon as you add the rocket onto a sector, for instance, or a rocket dish or a power beam, this is the type of revolutionary technology that you can expect. So that is airPRISM. Some of you might be familiar with TDMA, time division multiple access. And this truly is just unlike any standard Wi-Fi protocol. So airMax allows each client to send and receive data using pre-designated time slots. So if we talk about packet prioritization, I'm sure you all know that VoIP, for instance, when you get a phone call, will take preference over, let's say, a WhatsApp message. But with TDMA, it literally pre-designates time slots. In other words, your response time on that link is a lot quicker. And if you think about it, if you've got over 100 CPEs, so your client premise equipment, the dish is sitting next to your home, that can be connected to your base station, it is good to have technology that also features the protocol of multiple access in a packet prioritization scenario. So this feature also assists in eliminating hidden node collisions, maximizing airtime efficiency. And of course, by doing this, your latency is delayed, or your latency that is delayed improves on your link. And then it even assists with better throughput. So stronger links, quicker links, that will just obviously benefit you as either the service provider or the client. airMax AC technology. So interesting concept when Ubiquiti started with the AC technology. And of course, their mindset was based on how can we increase performance on our links. Okay, so they've created AC, which is definitely a performance breakthrough. These products offer improved, again, latency, noise immunity, scalability, and significantly increased throughput performance. We will delve into the rocket a little bit later so that you can understand what it actually entails by having an enhanced radio as part of your base stations. If you think about the airMax AC sector antennas, for instance, feature significant advances with beamforming, for instance, performance to complement the Rocket 5 AC radios. So it's also nice to know what the comparisons are and how to fit the radio into which dish to get the best out of your link. Okay, so all of that I'm mentioning now is something that I am busy writing for a presentation to see how we can use AirLink, for instance, in the software-defined management platform to set up your best possible link, but we'll get into that. And yeah, so they are compatible with Rocket M5 models, these units. However, for optimal performance, you would require a, let's say, for instance, a Rocket 5 AC on your base station, and then an AC version on your customer premise equipment or your CPEs. So just as a quick reminder and refresher, some of you might know that Ubiquiti has performed incredibly well on the M range when they started, M2, M3, and M5. The M5 ranges are obviously slowly but surely starting to move out of the market as the new technology of AC is starting to take over. There's obviously an ever-decreasing demand on throughput and links, especially now. So people are more leaning towards the AC technology. It's also future-proofing your link. If your base station is an M range and your CPE is an AC range, your CPE will not talk to your base station. So always remember, rule of thumb, the base station has to have the latest technology in order to talk to the CPEs in a point-to-multipoint application. So if you're sitting with a PRISM radio on a Rocket 5 or a Rocket 5 AC radio, for instance, and you're using a light beam AC as a CPE, for instance, that's where your optimal link will lie. Okay. Right. Rocket PRISM radio, the bad boy of airMax. Okay. They have introduced this radio, like I said, into the market to really challenge throughput requirements. Okay. As you can see, it's a 5 gigahertz frequency band. Okay. It's built for high performance, especially if you're looking at deploying these units in high density areas, for instance. airPRISM sector antenna is, of course, what you will use with this Rocket PRISM radio so that you get the best performance link. It's dedicated management radio that you can manage off of your UNMS system, which, of course, is your centralized management platform. It's robust die-cast aluminum casting, which means IP67 rated for weatherproofing. GPS for superior co-location performance is also a feature that we will touch base on a little bit later. It's got improved surge protection and over 500 megabits per second throughput. So you can just imagine if you've got, let's say, 4 AC sectors of 90 degrees giving you a 360 with this Rocket PRISM, you basically have monopoly on that tower. Right. Of course, with the PRISM filtering as well, if you think about co-location, when you have this radio on top of a mast, for instance, or a tower, and there are other radios around, airPRISM will isolate your signal, rejecting the other radio's interference. And this is why this performance is such an amazing attribute to a link. As we've mentioned with the Rocket radio, GPS synchronization. Now, with GPS synchronization enabled equipment, it basically means that we can reuse the same channel back to back on the same tower. As I've just mentioned now, if you look at the sector antennas 90 degrees, for instance, you all know about hidden nodes and perhaps some backbleed. That, of course, assists with all of that. So traditional wireless equipment, on the other hand, would require a separate channel for each sector, where the GPS sync enabled equipment, you can reuse the same channel. Thus, the GPS reduces the number of channels needed per tower and frees up spectrum to add more sectors. So you can even add to your existing base station. Again, obviously, you would like to have the bigger and best space on a tower for your link. Perfect for high density deployments. It works well in rural areas with dense housing. We are currently moving into an era where people are doing, we call them smart cities, where you've got certain infrastructure with housing, for instance, and then people have a common area or a public area. But the idea is for people to walk from your home into the common area and still have the same Wi-Fi experience if it is enabled through that building, for instance, or the application. So this is where all of this fits into a applicator. So for instance, a startup WISP, this is the perfect unit for you. Right, so as I've mentioned, the airMax rocket, here are some features of the different rockets, the M5, as we've mentioned, and of course the R5AC Lite, which is full band 5 gigahertz unit. As you can see, however, that uses a 80 megahertz spectrum, where the rest obviously operates based on, if it's half band, on 40 megahertz. Okay, you see the throughput requirements. If you take a comparison between the old M5 and the new 5AC Gen 2 units, is a phenomenal difference just on that actual throughput. It does cater for airPRISM technology from the R2 AC PRISM, which is your Rocket 2, and then of course your Rocket PRISM 5AC that does that phenomenal 500 megabits throughput. Combining the rocket with the correct antenna. So the rocket antenna options are obviously the rocket dish AC, if you're looking for long-range, high-throughput point-to-point scenarios, in other words, your backhaul solutions, as I've mentioned earlier. You've also got airMax sector antennas, long-range, high-performance point-to multi-point applications, also best for last-mile connectivity. And then, of course, you get your Omni antennas designed for shorter ranges with low-throughput point-to-multi-point applications. If you look at CPEs, for instance, we can have a look at power beams, and nano beams for shorter links, superior performance, and of course, still high throughput. So with all of this said, it's great to have all the equipment. You understand your link requirements. You've got a tower base where you can put up your radios and sectors. But how do we install this, and how do we get the best possible link out of our installation? Okay, so the UNMS, which is Ubiquiti's network management system, it's a software-based platform. For those of you that do not know, it is a free platform where you can simply configure, monitor, upgrade, and back up your Ubiquiti devices. So the nice thing about Ubiquiti, specifically because it is a free platform, is you literally log into the portal on the community page. The forum will actually give you any updates on firmware. You literally download that link, you set a time to your equipment, and you can upgrade your units without any fees. So you can just constantly do that every quarter or every second quarter, just to make sure that you're updated with the latest firmware. You can include your wireless equipment and optical GPON devices as well through UNMS. But I mean, why stop there? You can even manage your client's access points with ease. Okay, so management of all of these devices in a single application is UNMS. So like we've mentioned, now you controlling your client's access points. If you are a WISP, you can even throttle their throughput. Let's say, for instance, you need a payment system, which of course there is available on UNMS as well. It's a streamlined billing and customer management system where you can set up recurring invoices, credit card processing, automated features such as suspension on CPEs, outages, those type of things. So if your client is not paying their bill, you start throttling them to the point where they only have enough data to load money from their bank account. That's pretty much what you can do. You've got full control of every single application. And of course, this is also a money saver. If you can just think about, if you can diagnose a faulty access point from software, you don't need to send out a technician with it, which at the end of the day is, of course, another costly factor. So you can do device configuration. As I've mentioned, you can update the firmware. You've got task manager, device management, all of that built into a free platform. Right. So as I've mentioned, airMax is the perfect, dare I say, business partner. Okay. You would have heard me say in previous presentations and acknowledging the fact that we are in a wireless era. People are always looking for bigger and better, faster speeds, while enjoying the convenience of a wireless connection. So through that, there's obviously a multitude of different applications that you as a WISP or an entrepreneur starting your own WISP or ISP that you can take up with Ubiquiti. Specifically, if you're looking at point-to-point and point-to-multipoint applications where you can control all of that from one platform. Okay. So why are we looking at wireless deployment? Number one, it's fast to deploy. If you think about, there's almost no cost deployments other than the actual equipment. Or let me rather say it's a low cost deployment because there's no earthworks, which means that there's no costly factor in getting someone to trench for fiber lines, etc. It's definitely accessible to entrepreneurs with various different sources that we can have a look at empowering you to understand how you can set up a network and what equipment to actually get. It is the best solution for last mile deployment if you consider the South African or even African terrain, if we broaden that spectrum, and take into consideration where we were 10 years ago and where we are today. It is a continuous growth and demand for broadband. the devices that we use, aka cell phones, TVs, etc., are getting better. They're getting smarter. But with that, you need a high throughput device, for instance, that can handle that type of capacity, which is where airMax is perfect for. airMax has also introduced the LTU units, which I will get into as soon as they are available, which is a whole new different ball game on different signal strengths, or incorporating different signals with TX and RX. Yeah, but we will get into that. I don't want to mention too much. But it is perfect for entrepreneurs. Like I said, the return of investment is going to be a lot quicker. And of course, you can pretty much do pure IP through that application with high-speed, long-range wireless connectivity. So that is it for me and why you would want airMax. Like I said, this is a very broad, basic overview of what airMax has. If I were to return to the slide of the UNMS, which is there, you even have a feature on the actual software that's called AirLink, which means you can set up your network before deploying the actual hardware into the field. It'll tell you exactly which product to use, what your throughput is going to be, what the link requirement is with regards to distance. You will be able to see if you are in a clear Fresnel zone. In other words, is there trees, buildings, or just the natural Earth's curvature going to cause problems and delays in connectivity. All of that you can set up through your platform before you deploy. So again, with the entrepreneurs in mind, you will know exactly what your costs are going to be to start up. And I think that's where the element lies, is there's no nasty surprises thinking, okay, I need this and I need that and I need this with regards to the requirements that I've set up in a network for myself. Through AirLink and many other features of the platform, you'll be able to do that before deployment. Okay, like I said, that is me, and this is why airMax, I believe, is the global standard for connectivity. Their product placement is right up there. You can do, like I said, anything from 0 to 5 kilometers all the way through to 200 kilometers in a link, depending on what your requirements are. Right, that is me. I look forward to some questions. If there are any, please note this presentation, I believe, is recorded and will be made available to you. And please speak to Terry and Simon. They should be able to assist you in any queries. Alternatively, I am available at any given time as well. Terry, thank you very much. Nice, short and sweet. But I do hope that it's added some value-added benefits and understanding why this application through airMax is such a win.
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much, Elmo. That was a great session, great presentation. As you said, very nice, short and sweet. Looking for questions right now. The chat box, I don't see any questions from the participants. Nothing on the question and answer tab. Right. I have shared with you guys the link to our YouTube channel on the chat. Please feel free to go there at your own free time to review or check out our other webinar sessions, including this, at your own time. Please share this with your clients, with your customers, with your peers, so that so that we can continuously carry on empowering you. Norbert, yes, we do. Please go through to our YouTube channel at the end of this session, and you will be able to get all that information there. Please also reach out to us at sales@hudaco.africa with your specific request, and we will share the requisite information. Right, at this point, I'd just like to thank you all very much for taking your time to be with us this morning. We appreciate it, it being a cold Friday that you took time to be with us. We just want to wish you a great weekend ahead, and we look forward to hosting you in our subsequent webinar sessions. As I mentioned earlier, we've got webinar sessions every Friday, one starting at 10 a.m., that's Kenyan time, and another one at 11 or 12 a.m. Kenyan time, depending on our focus for discussion. We will also be running webinars on our security portfolio every Thursday afternoon. Please look out for our mailers that we would share with you, on a regular basis, as well as on our LinkedIn handle at Hudaco Kenya. We look forward to engaging with you further. Thank you very much for your time, and we wish you a great weekend ahead.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Just before we go, I just quickly wanted to mention that obviously Ubiquiti has a huge support platform. So Norbert, those guys that require a little bit more information, I do believe that Terry and Simon will be able to assist. But there are also some reads if you want to start a wireless link on how to and kind of the best equipment to look at. So Terry, if you require any of those type of links, I'm happy to share them with you.
Great, thank you so much. We will communicate with you, Norbert, after this by email. Thank you so much. We've got another question here from. We've got a question here, Elmo, just before you take off. Are we going to have info on the new LT Ubiquiti platform?
I think you are referring to the LTU Ubiquiti platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, LTU. Okay, perfect. So the LTU is basically a proprietary product from Ubiquiti built into airMax. So the UNMS system, your centralized management platform, will remain as is. It will obviously just have the enhancements built into the platform if you were to deploy an LTU unit. So if you use AirLink, for instance, and you choose your base station and your CPE devices, you can then actually choose, I need to use an LTU rocket with a light, for instance, and your CPEs are going to be X, Y, and Z. So there you will be able to see what your throughput is. I do have to, however, just as a quick reminder, seeing that you are asking about the LTUs, is LTUs work with LTUs. We unfortunately do not have radios that you can just slide into a rocket, for instance, or a Pro. Sorry, the rocket is the radio. So, for instance, a Pro. Yeah, just a quick mention.
Right, thank you. Aname, I hope that has addressed your question. Great, thank you. All right, wish you all a great weekend and hope to see you in our subsequent webinar sessions next week. Goodbye now.